So UFC is back with Bud Light, just like the good old days, pictured right here. But will it be worth it? Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the UFC joining forces with Bud Light yet again. Now, UFC has been around for quite a few years, probably about 20 or so years. And when they first came out, one of their first sponsors was Bud Light. And they've had other sponsors since then. I think their most recent sponsor was Modelo. But now they're back with Bud Light. And what Bloomberg.com report says their biggest deal ever. Now, as of right now, before the whole Bud Light deal, their biggest deal was with Crypto.com for $175 million. This is going to be at least bare minimum $100 million, probably into the $200 million range for a multi-year deal. They're going to have Bud Light logos on the actual videos, on the backdrops, in the ring. It's going to be a really big thing. Now, this is going to be a problem for some people because of the whole Dylan Mulvaney kerfuffle. Now, in case you forgot what's going on with that, this is Dylan Mulvaney, a transgender, I guess you would say, social media influencer. What happened was Bud Light gave this particular individual personalized cans to promote on his platforms. I guess the idea from these marketing executives was, let's give this person some Bud Light cans and let's siphon off of his followers. They were not thinking that people who do not like Dylan Mulvaney are going to pay attention to what's happening. They're like, okay, what are we doing? Why are we getting with this guy? We don't like what he stands for. We're going to boycott you. And in case you didn't see the personalized beer can, that was that. So if you were a Bud Light drinker, you liked the beverage, and you see something like that come across your Twitter timeline, you like, well, what's going on with this? I'm not trying to drink this beer anymore. Now, personally, I'm not a beer drinker. I've never had a Bud Light in my entire life, so I don't even know what the hubbub is specifically over the beverage itself. But as far as the marketing was terrible. People got fired behind that. It was a whole big mess. Now, obviously, Bud Light wants to change things and go back to the way it was. Now, this is a picture. This is an older picture, obviously. This is Ronda Rousey. This is back when UFC was really getting cracking and rocking and rolling. You see the Bud Light logo in the background. They're going to go back to that and try to reclaim the glory days of their brand to stop the bleeding, because you're talking about what? I think I saw like a 25% loss. It was a really big loss. And if I'm wrong about the percentage of the actual revenue that Budweiser and the Bud Light brand specifically lost, y'all please correct me in the description, in the comments. Now, let's check out your main man, Dana White. This is the big dog, the head honcho, the triple OG over at UFC. He's going to explain the whole situation, why they're getting back with Bud Light, and of course they're going to address the whole Dylan Mulvaney kerfuffle. This particular video has a really bad like to dislike ratio, 610 likes to 2,500 plus dislikes. Pretty bad. I will link to this in the box. Also, I will link to any articles in the box as well. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
All right, if you watch the show regularly, you do know that not only a student of the martial arts, it's a passion of mine. There's no more elite venue for mixed martial arts in the world than the UFC, and of course, its iconic octagon. And there
So you see the Budweiser logo right there. I'm not really sure when this picture was taken.
Must-watch events. But tonight, breaking news from outside the arena, where UFC President Dana White, he just announced that Bud Light, yes, the Bud Light, will become the official beer partner of the league. Now, after veering off course, which I thought was stupid, into the, woke cultural wars in the country.
Look at this. Do you ever see this headline? How a $15,000 Bud Light giveaway needlessly cost Anheuser-Busch InBev $27 billion. I guess that was their market cap loss after the whole Dylan Mulvaney kerfuffle. $27 billion. So obviously they're trying to get back on the right track. Some people are not trying to hear it, while some may be able to forgive and forget. Let's keep on going.
Country. is this a strong message from Anheuser-Busch and Bud Light that we've heard you loud and clear and we're getting back on track? Anyway, here with more on all of this brand new partnership is UFC President, CEO Dana White is with us. So I had you on my radio show today. Been on radio 30 plus years, been here, I'm in my 28th year at Fox. And, what's interesting to me is I refuse to call for boycotts, firings, cancellations, any of this stuff. I'm against all of it. I thought it was stupid of Bud.
Let's pause right here. Now, I got to pause it at certain points because I'm not quite sure if they want to try to copyright this over on Fox. They normally don't, but whatever. Anyway, calling for a boycott or anything like that wouldn't be necessary because people are naturally going to boycott when they see something like that. You don't have to organize it. It's going to be a natural, organic thing, in my humble opinion.
Budweiser or Bud Light to get into that controversy. Just dumb. And I have no idea why they waded into those waters. But my fear from the beginning was not the person that made the dumb decision or the people that made the dumb decision. When I saw this taking hold, I was concerned about the people that work for Bud Light.
Yeah.
Those are high-paying career jobs. And I said that publicly. And I'm hoping, everybody knows who you are, Dana. No holds barred, kick ass, take no prisoners. I don't give an atom Schiff or in anybody's face. So they purposely went with you. Tell us about it.
Yeah. Well, first of all, let me start with, they were the first beer company that we really did business with. They're our first real big sponsor.
Now, I'm going to pause them right here. When UFC first came out, people kind of they were nervous to do business with them. They were nervous to host them in their venues because of the liability issues. Oh, you guys are just really barbaric. Now, of course, boxing is not that much, different or better. It's probably worse than boxing, but that's a different story. People did not really understand the sport. They thought it was too violent. They thought it was going to be too much of a liability. So brands kind of wanted to back away. They didn't want to deal with UFC. So here comes Budweiser as their first sponsor. Now, I'm going to tell you before he explains it, I'm going to tell you what probably happened. They probably said, hey, we messed up, man. We screwed up. We effed up. We're trying to get back in the good graces of our consumers. Let's do a deal. Do us a favor. Do us a solid, please, Dana. That's probably how the conversation started. Let's keep on going.
When we were getting started, and now we're back with them. And going into this deal, I know all the controversy and everything else, but for myself, going into a long-term deal with another sponsor, I want to be with somebody that I'm actually aligned with. And I know people were upset with what they did, but I'm looking at all the good things that they do. They employ 65,000 Americans. They have thousands of vets that work for them. They spend $700 million a year with U.S. farmers using their crops to make their products and many, many other great things that Anheuser-Busch has done in this country. And those are the things that I'm focused on. When I look at a long-term sponsor that's going to be, we're going to do a 6-year deal here. I want to be with somebody that I'm aligned with. All those things that I just mentioned to you are what I'm all about. And not to mention, they have this thing called Folds of Honor. I'm very big into law enforcement and military. And over the last, I don't know how many years, they've spent like $45 million taking care of, these servicemen and first responders who have died, taking care of their families, scholarships for their kids and things like that. So I am very aligned with Anheuser-Busch.
All right.
You know what? I think he said it perfectly. I know that's not going to be very popular with a lot of people, but I actually like what he said. I do, because what happened is really simple. This was a mistake from marketing department. This was a big mistake. And I think, again, those who were responsible have been fired. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light, they've backed away from Dylan Mulvaney. They've backed away from all that woke stuff. And they're trying to get back in the good graces of the consumer, of their people that support them, of Americans, of whoever is buying their beverages. They're trying to get back in the good graces. And like you said, they do a lot of good things. They're employing vets, a lot of other Americans. They're giving millions of dollars to farmers. So, I mean, I like what he said. I really do.
All right, so let me be clear about a few things. There were other beer companies that wanted to partner with you, correct? You certainly, I know you don't need the money because you have more money than anyone could ever want in probably 4,000 lifetimes. So you didn't do it for the money. You didn't do it, you did it for the reasons stated, but you also knew, and it's already happening on social media, that you'd be attacked. You'd be accused of selling out.
Yeah.
I want you to respond to those people.
Yeah.
Well, let's be clear. When you do sponsorships, you definitely do sponsorships for the money too. Money is definitely.
I'm glad you be honest about that because Sean Hannity's like, oh, you didn't do it for the money. Well, let's not go that far. I mean, this is still business at the end of the day. This is still business. Let's not be silly.
A part of it, but money was not the decision making. There wasn't the reason that I made the decision. All the things that I just told you are why. I mean, there's more to being aligned with a sponsor, a major sponsor like that, for as long as I'm going to be. There are many other things that are important to me other than just the money. And the people that were all involved in this negotiation on every side absolutely positively know that my choice was not determined by money.
All right, so that's your main man, Dana White, CEO of UFC, the big boss, the head honcho, the top dog, Triple OG. There's a little bit more to this interview. I will link to it in the box so you can check it out there. But as I close, I want to say this. I like what Dana White said. I think that he is looking out for the company that looked out for him. That's really what it was. From the beginning, hey, we're just getting started. We're trying to find sponsors. Here comes Budweiser. We'll be your sponsor. No problem. And then throughout the years, they maintain a cordial relationship. They make a really big mistake, ruin their brand, and then they go right back to friends and say, hey, man, we messed up. Can we get back in your good graces? Well, can we get back with you to get back into the good graces of the American people? And I think this is what's happening. So I think it'll work for the most part, although some people are going to be permanently turned off, and that's totally fine. But I think this makes sense. This is more about a business relationship that has been going on for a very long time and a favor being paid that's going to be beneficial on both sides. That's really what it is at the end of the day. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that this is a good thing, a bad thing? Do you think Dana White sold out? He just wants the money, 100 million, 200 million, whatever it is. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I think this is more about a favor being repaid. This is about people that are in business, keeping a relationship together. Okay, you have this person from Budweiser, probably been there the whole time that UFC's been around. Dana White's still there. He's been there the whole time UFC's been around. They come back, they circle back, communicate. They hadn't talked in a while. They explain the situation. Okay, can we do this? Cool, let's do it. Handshake, and it's done. That's probably what took place. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. That's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.